Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so our viewers that we have now, welcome to Tennis Minds. I'm so excited.
Welcome, peoples. Welcome.
Hello to everyone.
What's up?
So for our new viewers that may tune in, I am Shay.
Jordan.
I'm Troy.
I'm Tyler.
What's goody? I'm Ray Sweezy.
And we also have a new piano member.
My bad. I
No,
thought
he's
Jordan.
acting a little off right now. Come on.
My bad. I'm Joe. Javarius. Most people call me Joe.
Welcome, Joe. So y'all, we are about to discuss the topic mental health.
Big.
So how everybody feeling today? How y'all feeling mentally today?
Today I'm at a solid 8. I give it an 8. Today's been pretty good.
I give myself probably I give myself an 8. I don't want to overdo it. It's just been a good week.
Today was actually really good for me. I'm gonna have to give myself a 10 right now. I was dressed like SpongeBob. I feel like SpongeBob. I'm ready.
Hey, let's get it.
I would say for me, I'm probably like at a 7. You know, I just got off work, tired, body so aching, but hey, I'm here to see the night, so I'm good.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm with Jordan. I'll probably give myself probably a 7. I've been in the heat all day at this festival at work, so tired. I'm here.
So I give myself a 9. I just been feeling good all day long. I just been in a goofy, playful mood. So yeah, if y'all catch me just laughing, I'm just feeling good. I'm happy.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Yeah.
So we happy.
Laughter is medicine for the body, man.
hey,
Laughter is great,
Definitely.
man.
Definitely.
definitely.
Well, since we introduced everybody, we back. We're talking about mental health. So have you ever gone through a time where your mental health was challenged, and how did you get through
I'm straight into it.
Me.
it? Let's get it. Let's talk.
So say it one more time.
So have you ever gone through a time where your mental health was challenged, and how did you get through it?
Anybody want to start that off?
I'll start.
Okay.
Actually, today, to be honest with you, like I said, we've been at work. We have this country music festival that's been going on. So it's been a lot of intoxicated people up there, and so just trying to keep myself calm while dealing with them, because I know some of them aren't really in their right state of mind.
Yeah.
But they be testing you like they really are, and they not. And so I mean, the way I really just deal with it is, I try to, really most of the time I think of my family, how I'm gonna reflect them, how what I do, how my actions is done to affect them, affect what I do. And so that's usually how I calm myself down and navigate through stuff.
Okay.
When I went through the most trying time in my life, that moment taught me how to be there for myself. And it gave me a better outlook on life. So I lost my brother in 2017. And that was probably the worst thing I've been through in my life, like emotionally. And from that moment, like it didn't make me mad. It didn't make me bitter. Like it really taught me what the meaning of life was. So like I had to the only way that I could get through that was to look at the bright side. So and learn and choose love over everything. And so like that really taught me how to get through life. Like in every situation, I always look at the blessing and look at the lesson.
Mm.
And so that's how I get through anything.
Right. Put that on the shirt.
I know.
Yeah.
I know for me, probably the most challenging time in my life, probably my senior year of college. Like during my senior year, like halfway through the semester, I got kicked out of school, whatever like that, for a year. And so like that was like a really tough time on me, and just like I didn't know where I was at mentally. Like I was just like all down and depressed. You know, I had my family that was upset at me and disappointed me. Then I had, you know what I'm saying, my friends disappointed me and people questioning my like character, integrity, all that type stuff, you know, just off of one little mistake I did, you know what I'm saying? And you know, how I got through it, like I just got through it really, you know, by talking to my closest friends and stuff about, you know, the situation and how I was feeling and stuff like that. And then just trying to keep myself busy so I really won't think about it or whatever like that. And I've also found like comfort in like, you know, doing things that I enjoy, you know what I'm saying? Like I like playing basketball stuff. Like I like to exercise as far as, you know, physical activity like that. I might play the game or something. So like that's how I was able to, you know, get through that moment in my life to, you know, kind of get back set to where I was beforehand.
Okay.
For me, mine started around high school, about my 11th, 12th grade years when I first realized my mental health wasn't what it should have been. And it made me fall into like this deep depression and suicidal, you know, thoughts and tendencies and whatnot. But the way that I got through it was first I prayed, because growing up in my house, we've been taught take everything to God in prayer. And that's what we do. I prayed about it, and I also discovered journaling, writing things out, writing my emotions, writing, really just reevaluating my day. This day was good, this day was bad. I did this action, I faced this consequence, you know, I did this good deed and this happened. So really just praying, journaling, and like Jordan said, just finding things I enjoy to do, like writing music, listening to music, you know, helping people when they're in need, so stuff like that.
That's good. So for me personally, I would say recently, 2020 was an episode where I experienced depression, by far, probably the worst experience of my life. And to be honest, I don't even know what triggered that moment of depression or what had me in that place. But 2020, I lost weight. I was just like out of myself, like, and I would say God was my first answer that I did to get out of it, but I would be lying. Like I looked everywhere else to find that outlook or that coping mechanism to get me through it, because like I said, I didn't understand what it was coming from and what caused me to be so depressed, that to a point that I didn't even know that I was so depressed or stressed out that I started seeing it in my weight. And people would say, well, Shay, you getting so skinny, you getting so skinny. And I'm just like, I don't know. Well, I'm eating. So I say, in a sense. So I lost weight. Everything was just like going downhill. And I really didn't know what was coming from. But then I had to understand that me trying to find like that outlook everywhere else, I wasn't going to find it. So I had to go back to the source of what I know, and that's God. So I had to pray. I had to really get myself back mentally and spiritually so I can be a better me. So 2021, I'm better. But 2020 was like the worst year for me when it comes to depression.
And I think that's for a lot of people. Even with COVID alone, it messed with so many people's mental health. And if you look at people today, people still have not recovered from this. People scared to come out the house, scared to be around people, you know, they have themselves closed in this box. And I think 2020, just in general for everybody, was just like a pivoting point, a stopping point. Was like, okay, my mental is like all over the place. I don't know what's going on. So
exactly.
Do y'all feel like being in the house for so long would cause something like that? Like just
but I don't think it was being in a house that caused depression. I think it was like we were forced to deal with ourselves. Like before that, we had every distraction that was possible. Like we could go and hang out with our friends and do anything and not think about what we're really feeling. But we had to really face ourselves in 2020. Like
That's
So it's like
true.
it
True.
really just unleashed a lot of demons that we didn't know we were carrying.
Yes, because 2020 was like a discipline year for me. So I had to be
Yes.
in so many areas where
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
locked in, and God was like, you see
Yeah.
this? Get that? Like,
Yeah.
so yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie, for me with the pandemic, it kind of like got me in the mode, like my mental was like good because it's like, okay, I know what I have to do. I have to go to work and then that's it. Like I don't have to really deal with all the outside noise and pressures that's going on kind of in a day-to-day life. You know what I'm saying? Since everything's closed down, I'm just going straight to work and then straight back home. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it made my mental state, I feel like, you know, I was good in that aspect, you know,
So
unlike other people.
I have a question. So was you good mentally before the pandemic, or was you in a bad mental place before the pandemic? Like,
yeah, because during that time, like I said, that's when, you know, I got suspended from school in like November, December, and then, you know, the pandemic happened in March. But like, you know, I was just working, you know, basically from like when I came back home up until the like pandemic started. And then I just, you know, I was just continually working. I was like, hey, this is kind of like getting me out of my like mood, out my like state, out my zone. And so like I'm getting back to the old me, because, you know, I'm seeing a little more money in my pocket, you know, I'm feeling good or whatever like that. And it's like, I really don't have to worry about that much, you know what I'm saying? Because I think with like mental health, people like with mental health, like a lot of things that kind of exacerbated is like all the outside stuff too that's going along with how you're feeling inside your mental as well. Like from your friends, family, school, work, you know, just all different types of stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot of different things that play into the factor of it though. Like for me, like during when the pandemic hit, I was working. So like I was going to work every day, still going to church because we were still playing and stuff like that. We just wasn't having in-person service or whatever. So like I still had contact with people and like some certain contacts outside of work. But I mean, I think being in the house does mess with your mental, because sometimes you're not really paying attention. You don't have to really worry about everything that's going on in the world. And it's not really distracting you. But then like, you're like, okay, well, I can't go to this place with my friends. I can't go here, or I can't go see this person. So then it's like, you just sitting in the house and you're like, dang. And then that's when depression kick in, because you're like, I ain't really got nothing. So like, I'm just sitting here in my room on my phone. I can be on the phone or whatever, but I can't actually interact with the people that I really want to interact with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it play both sides. So either it's gonna cause you to face yourself, or it's gonna cause you to become isolated in a sense where you feel like you're all alone, you don't have nobody.
Right.
I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah, most definitely. But then again, like I kind of take what LaTroy said, and you kind of got to think about, you know, some of the people that, you know, are in jail or in prison, like as far as their mental state. Just this is like what we went through in a pandemic is just a sample size of
it's just a glimpse of what they go through every day. You know what I'm saying?
Just like treat like an animal, just like literally you're like locked in a cell, like a cage, like an animal type stuff. Yeah, really no human interaction. So it kind of put everything in perspective for me as well and stuff like that.
I agree. Both sides, because in 2020, like Shay said, that was a year of discipline for you know, for a few people, a year of discipline, but also it kind of, like Jordan said, put things into perspective, because in 2020 you discover what priorities really mattered, what you really discover, what you choose to live with that you really can't live without. And like for me, that I agree with that. You know, there was some people I thought I couldn't live without. 2020, they out the door. Some things I have, you know, I didn't have. And that played a major part in my mental health too, because sometimes we carry situations that really plays a part in our mental health, like, and we're burdened down with it. But in 2020, like it was like not just a year of exposure, but like just a year of like a discipline. Like this is what's priority. Like prioritize this. This is what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jordan, I'm glad you compared I'm glad you compared that to people in prison, because that really just makes me think, like, honestly, comparison is one of the biggest reasons why we struggle with mental health. Like we're struggling with mental illness because, like, especially during 2020, because like it was nothing but social media. Like, again, we were we were not distracted from anything outside of the home. So all we had was social media, this and that. And looking at our lives, we just stuck in our little, our little small whatever we got, and we comparing ourselves to everybody else, and we feeling behind. Like people making money during the pandemic, and we just like, we just here. So on one hand, it does like boost your hustle, like it boosts your morale, but at the same time, it's like, what am I doing with my life? Like,
So with Raekwon saying it though, do y'all feel like social media can affect your mental state?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's so many mixed emotions on social media. So like, I mean, I think that really just sums it up. It's so many mixed emotions on social media, and you really don't know what you're gonna get out of a situation that somebody puts on social media and it goes viral.
Right. And then it's also like majority of what we see is for entertainment purposes. But the way they give it to, and I won't even say like they like entertainment in general. People around us, influential that we know, the way they give it to us is this is the perfect life. This is what's happening.
Right.
And like us as like normal casual people, we look up to that stuff and like, wow, I want to accomplish this. I want to be like this. Not realizing they may be posting all these highs and stuff, but mentally they want to kill themselves. Mentally, they don't know who they are. They don't know their identity. And social media has definitely played a major part in that, because we're trying to live up to something that's false. We're trying to live up to something that's not our identity, and that also plays a part in our mental health.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like we try to make somebody else's reality our reality.
Our reality. Yeah.
When you do that. Simple.
Exactly. Not realizing when we do that, we don't know what they went through to get to where they at now. Like you just said, Tyler, like they could be suicidal every night. They can be depressed. Like they can have anxiety attack. They might have just had an anxiety attack when they posted that they was just in Dubai for 3 weeks or whatever, and just living it up. But we never know.
Yeah.
We never know, because people.
When I was in New York on Instagram, it looked like I was having the time of my life. But like 40% of the time, my anxiety was tearing me up. I was not enjoying it. Like, so it's just that just goes to show you never know what's really going on behind that camera.
And I've been there. Go ahead, Jordan.
Because I was just about to say, bro, like people, like when it comes to social media, it's like people always want to post their highs. If that makes sense. Like they just always want to post their highs, and if they do post their lows, their low points, they always come back to a high moment. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like you never really know, in a sense, like, you know what I'm saying, what somebody has actually been going through and what they have been dealing with in their personal life, when it's just them in a room by themselves and they have to face and they have to look themselves in the mirror. Like you never really know what a person is really going through.
Exactly.
So, okay, and that's a really good point. And I honestly think that's really what life is all about, for real. And I think that's what a lot of us fail to realize. Like, life is constantly about finding yourself. Like, you constantly gonna be finding different versions of yourself. There's gonna be times where you don't like yourself. Like, there are gonna be times where you just don't have the answers and you don't know where to go. And I feel like a lot of us really mistake that with being mentally ill. Like we mistake like normal things, normal human feelings, like for being sick. And I love how like mental health is really being like mental health awareness. We're really bringing awareness to mental health like now on social media, especially with the Black community. And I do love that. However, I feel like there are a lot of these symptoms that people see, and there's a lot of self-diagnoses, and people think like, and that makes people feel even worse about themselves. And I'm like, bro, it's normal. Like, it's okay to cry sometimes. It's okay to not be happy at every time, at every point in your life. Like, you don't have to.
Right.
sick. Like, you're not always sick.
Yeah.
And that's what I want people to also understand.
I would say acknowledge that you are depressed, acknowledge you do have anxiety, but don't stay there and don't accept to make that who you are, because it's not true.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Don't stay in that same place, because you know you can go farther than that. Like,
right.
And just don't let that define the person that you actually are.
Because that's not you. That's just something.
Right.
Exactly.
Your condition, not your identity. It's not.
Definitely.
Not your identity.
Hey, these quotes, we might have to make some t-shirts.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I throw out some quotes tonight. I'm with it.
Right. All right. But on a serious note, going back to what Raekwon said about, being it's okay to cry and all that, all of that other, necessary things. Why do you guys think that it's so hard for males in general to admit that they're suffering, like, with mental health? Like, why do you think it's hard for, like, us guys to openly admit, hey, I'm depressed, hey, I'm insecure, I'm suicidal? Like, why do y'all think it's so hard for us to do that? Or have you ever been, like, in a place where you needed to admit it, but you didn't want to?
It's embedded in us from the beginning, honestly. Like, when we cry and when we have our grievances and we want to like express ourselves, we're being too weak. Like, and I think it's natural too. Like, honestly, I feel like just as men, I mean, that's just what we see. Like, we see men supposed to be strong, men supposed to be big, men ain't supposed to cry. Like, that's all we get. So, I mean, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it doesn't even feel like it has to be, like, embedded in you. It's just like, you see, like, if you have a man figure or a father figure or whatever, like, that you're looking up to, you see, like, you never really see their moments where they're sitting in a room, they're crying, they're going through stuff, or they're struggling. Like, for me, like, I've never seen, like, except for one time, and that was due to death. Like, that was the only time that I seen my dad cry. But, like, I mean, other than that, like, I've never really seen him cry. So I think, like Raekwon said, we just, as men, we're just kind of known to be tough, or we're subject to be tough in situations, and we're not really supposed to, like, break down in front of people. Where it is to a female, the female is going to show all of their emotions, just because that's just the type of person they are. But as men, we want to be tough, and we don't actually want to show our emotions, but not knowing that it's good to show our emotions, because that helps us let stuff out, and we don't just build up and all that stuff just stays in us, and then we push ourselves into another mental state.
Right. And I think you go ahead, Jordan.
I was just about to say, it's just all about, like, I feel the societal factors and stuff that, men are, like, kind of socialized into. Just like, the boys supposed to play with the boys, the girls supposed to be with the girls. Like, boys don't cry. Like, you're supposed to play with this toy, not that toy, just stuff like that. And then just the stigma of just saying that you're depressed and stuff like that. Like, people just thinking you're weak and all that, when necessarily that's not the case. Like, I was doing some research the other day, and I saw on mental health america.org, they did some research, and this is pertaining to Black people or Black men. It was saying stigma and judgment prevent Black and African American from seeking treatment for their mental illnesses. Research indicates that Blacks and African Americans believe that mild depression or anxiety would be considered crazy in their social circles. Furthermore, many believe that discussions about mental illness would not be appropriate even among family. So, like, that just lets you know, kind of like, just us as people, how we were kind of are indoctrinated that, mental health is something that, we shouldn't talk about, when, talking about it actually, saves lives and stuff like that. I know for me, like, the reason I really didn't want to talk about my mental health, because I feel like people don't understand your situation unless you've been through it. So it's like, I felt like, how can somebody try and tell me what to do or how to feel in this situation when they've never been through it themselves? So it's like, you can't, you know what I'm saying, relate to me in that aspect, but you're trying to tell me like how I should feel. So that's how I looked at it. But you know, like I kind of grown to like over time kind of like hear people out, because you know they can say something necessarily that they may not have been through, but they can educate me, like give me the wisdom or guidance, or just that one quote that like stick to me, and I can apply it to how to get myself out the state that I'm in.
So I got a question from that. So do y'all feel like why men don't like talk about it because they feel like everybody would be insensitive to how they actually feel? Like,
well, I feel like a big part, not just men, but a big part of our culture as Black people is pride, in a sense. We're always prideful of what we do, how we act, how we look. And, you know, to the common person, it's getting better now, you know, as we move forward with the mental health movement. But to a common person, you being depressed, you being, you know, socially not active, you doing all this stuff is considered crazy. Or like you said, if as a man, you're considered weak. So a lot of people don't share their mental health experiences or don't express themselves in that way, because one thing I found out that men are really scared of is vulnerability. Men do not, at no point does a man like to feel vulnerable or to feel like that somebody can see his weakness. So in that state, you feel weak. That's why you see a lot of people, a lot of men who really struggle with mental issues, whatever they have, whatever they feel like their best quality is, they flash it all the time. So they'll flash their money, or they'll flash their cars, or flash their clothes, because they're trying to hide the vulnerability that they have. So if I put this in front of you, you don't have to see what's behind me. You don't have to see what's really going on. So that's why I feel like, and I've struggled with myself to have a mental healing process. To me, you can't have a mental healing process until you acknowledge that, one, that you have a mental health problem, if you feel like you really have one, if you really do have one. And for you to not keep it in.
So I have a question, like this just came to me. Do y'all feel like certain people say they have a mental health problem just to get attention? Like, do y'all feel like people use that in a sense to get attention sometimes, and like they really don't have a mental problem, but some people use it for the attention of others? So they'll make a status like, I'm going through just to get that attention. Or do y'all consider that still a mental problem if you have to do that in a sense?
I think so. I don't know. It kind of can weigh, but I mean, it can kind of weigh on both sides. But I think some people do it just to get attention, just because maybe they, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think they could do it just to get attention. I don't know.
I mean, one thing I don't want to do is like minimize somebody else's problems, especially looking from like an outside perspective. Like, I don't know I don't know who is posting for attention. And honestly, I feel like if some people are, I mean, maybe it's necessary. Like, maybe that's just like, maybe they don't have anybody else to talk to, so they need like some reassurance. Like, ain't nothing. I mean, I personally don't see anything wrong with that. Like, you posting, so like it's a cry for help. And I feel like us as people, like, instead of looking like, oh, she just want attention, like she always crying, I feel like we should, if we see it, you know, just check on them, like, hey, you okay? Like, sometimes that can really help you.
So I made that point because lately, I ain't gonna say lately, but I have seen moments where I feel like people were insensitive to the fact that somebody's actually going through, or they had childhood traumas that caused them to be depressed as they got older. And now that those childhood traumas are showing back up, so now they're back in that depressed state, or they suicidal or have anxiety. And I feel like, and people say, oh, why they feeling like that now? Why all of a sudden you're so depressed? Or why all of a sudden you having this mental issue? Like, but you gotta understand, they can't control how they feel, or control the fact that so-and-so did this to me as a child. So now I'm faced with it again when I see it in another person, or it shows back up again when I see it again. Like, so I feel like people have to be more sensitive to the fact that people are really dealing with mental issues. Like, people are really dealing with depression. People are really dealing with suicidal thoughts and anxiety. Like, so how do y'all feel people can actually cope with that? Like, what are some ways or outlets they can use to get through depression or anxiety and suicide?
Personally, I think that comes with being transparent, coming from people who have been through. Let's say if I see someone posting, me personally, when I see someone posting about suicidal thoughts, first thing I do is inbox them and I tell them, call me, text me, message me, any of that. Like, let me be transparent and let you know I too was suicidal. Yeah. This is what I did to get, this is what I did to get over that. And I think a lot of times, a lot of people think that that when you try to create a resolve or come up with one, it's supposed to happen in 24 hours. That's not how it works. No. Deliverance don't even work in 24 hours. Like, it's an ongoing, like, it's an ongoing thing. And so yeah, I think transparency, for one, with people that you see, are dealing with something is a way. And also leading people to other people that's been through that and has overcame that. So if I can't help you, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to send you to someone that I know that has been through this. They've been free from that, and let you connect you with them and let them, mentor you your way out of that. So I think transparency and connections.
One thing about Black people, Black people will not take you seriously if they can't relate to what you're talking about. And that's one thing. That's one thing I know. Like, they will, like, you go to your bros, talk like, bro, like, I had a worst day. Like, I feel bad. They will clown, like, they will roast you. Yeah. Like, and it's not even that they trying to be funny. It's just like, like, people feel like if it's not a problem for me, then it's not a problem for real. Right. So they really won't take it seriously. Or Black people just like to joke and laugh or something, but they don't take nothing serious.
Because like, we laugh to shun away what we're really going through.
What we really going through, yeah.
It is.
Right. It is. Right. Exactly.
But so they might be feeling the same thing, but they would never want to show that because
they never gonna tell you.
Or they being prideful and don't want that part of them to be exposed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do y'all feel like people getting high every day is a way of escape in a sense? Like, does it link to depression?
Definitely.
Yeah, I would say one of the things that I tell, I actually had a person come to me about them, about their drug addiction. And, they say that they use it to cope. Oh, my bad. They said they use it to cope with, whatever's going on or whatever. And, the one thing I explained to them, I was watching an interview with LeBron, and they was talking about how, how he set aside himself from the rest of his friends who grew up with him in his neighborhood. And, he said the one thing about drugs, the one thing about anything that you use to take your mind off something, when that goes away, when you come down, the problem is still there.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
So in that sense, it's like, why not face this head on? Yeah. And not saying you have to do it alone, but why not go ahead and take care of this? Because at the end of the day, when you come back down off your high, when you come back from being drunk, when you wake up in the morning and your hangover is over and you've done all your throwing up and all that stuff, your problem is still there. The problem is not handled.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not going nowhere. You still once you get high you stay high for 2 or 3 hours or drunk for however long, you still gonna be depressed in the morning when you wake up. You still gonna have them suicidal thoughts. So like so why do y'all think people feel like those substances is something that can help them like get rid of mental health?
Moment.
People feel like you get rid of it. I feel like it's just the point of not facing it at that moment. So that's
that instant gratification. It's really just that instant gratification. Like, you don't have to deal with it, you don't have to worry about it. Right. I'm gonna throw these couple shots back, or I'm gonna smoke this blunt, and or whatever else people do. Right. But and it's like, and it's solved. And like, I mean, because I had a little problem not too long ago with like substance abuse. Like, but I realized it. And I realized that it's like the more I was drinking, the more I was smoking, I was just digging myself into a bigger hole. And I'm realizing, like, when I'm sober, I'm like, bro, I feel terrible. Like, I feel absolutely horrible. So I just have to learn that, and I have to cut it out and replace it with something that was positive. And recreationally, if I want to do so, it's because I'm happy and I want to. Like, I'm not dependent on it.
Right. That's good.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yeah, it's more of just getting away from it for that moment. So, and people just codepend on it. So that's why it become an addiction, because you codepend all the time.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So let me ask y'all, what are some things that you guys do to check on your mental health? Like when you notice you're going into like a mental health span, or like what are some things that y'all do that you do to like check up on it or like bring it back into like one? What are some things that y'all do?
Two things for me personally. My biggest one and the most easiest for me is music. Music is probably the biggest thing I have in my life. So I either play music or I'll listen to music, and it helps me, deal with the situations. If a situation gets to the point where I can't, put it aside with music, then, either my dad or Tyler or my pastor is one of the three people that I call to help. Hey, I need you to bring me back to earth because I feel like I'm losing my mind. So yeah, just transparency and music for me.
Okay.
For me, I would agree with Joe as far as the music. Me, I make beats and I actually, write music as well. So me is like, okay, I'll listen to a beat I might have made, or like one that I have in the stash or whatever, and I'll just write to it. And in a sense, it's like how Tyler was saying how he does his journaling, and so in a sense, that's kind of like my journaling, basically talking about how I feel and what I might have been through recently or whatever like that within my music, and then to put it on a song and kind of like play back and listen to it, just kind of like listening, okay, like this is what I've been through. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I've been through. And it kind of like puts everything into perspective to me on like, okay, here's some ways I can improve just by like just listening to my music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I try and get through it. And then also, I feel comfortable with talking to my mom about stuff. I've always had a relationship with her to where I can talk to her about anything. So I'll just, talk to her about how I'm feeling or whatever like that. And she'll always, give her input and her advice because, she always wants me to be successful and feel good. So.
So me personally, I would say one, worship. I'm a worshiper at heart. So when I go to that place where it's just me and God, that's what really get my mental state like back to where I need to be. So worship and then just praying. So those are two things that really gets me where my mental needs to be.
I agree. I agree with you, Jay.
I have like a nice little self-talk / meditation / prayer session, and I just speak out loud. Like I just have to speak my mind because it's more clear when I say what I'm feeling out loud. And it's easier when I'm by myself because nobody's in here to give opinions. Nobody's in here to interrupt. So it's just me, God, spirits, boom. So I just talk to myself. And sometimes like I realized that I was really struggling with differentiating my feelings like that. And that's why I couldn't solve anything, because it's like I would just be feeling so deeply, but I didn't genuinely know what I was feeling. So that's why I started really taking the time to like dissect what's really going on and to speak and like just to say stuff. Sorry, I had a phone call. And just to say stuff out loud, like just so I know what I'm feeling. And also sometimes like I don't know what's going on. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, somebody's calling me, so I'm gonna just let that ride real quick. Okay. But so I listen to music sometimes. Like I just shuffle my playlist, and I have to listen to a song that really like speaks to me, so I can really like just like let them tell my feelings for me if I can at the time. Like so, that's how I get this stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, like Shay said, praying and worship. I mean, for me, those have just been like for the past year and a half, those two things have just been like big in my life. And I mean, I really look to them, though I look to praying to God and worshiping, because I know once I call on him, like I know my problems, I can give him all my problems and I know he gonna help me get through them. So I think those are the biggest two for me as well. And then I can say music too, as well, because music helps me calm myself down as well.
Definitely. I agree with Shay and Joe both. Worshiper at heart and music. I get my journal and I just write, I write what I hear, write what I feel.
Yeah.
And even like in that time of worship, even when like I'm going through something and God gives me like a confirmation word, I turn that into a song. Like this is the song that brought me my deliverance. It brought me my freedom. It brought me back to the place like where I'm supposed to be. So yeah.
I got a question. I gotta leave my mind. Y'all be feeling old sometimes and stuff be leaving quickly. But do y'all feel like it's necessary to recognize what triggered that mental state moment? Like it's good to know, okay, this right here caused me to get back depressed, or this right here causes anxiety. So when it comes up, you'll know how to handle it quickly instead of going through it for months at a time, where it could be a moment of quick change. Like
because that saves you from going through cycles.
Yeah,
exactly.
Lifetime cycles.
Life cycles. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I definitely agree. And then too, like, if you look at adults around us, there are many things that they've avoided that triggers them, and it causes you to live a lifetime of bitterness. It causes you to live a lifetime of rejection and mad and angry because you haven't addressed what keeps triggering you. And God is always going to keep putting something in your face until the day you grow up and realize I have to address this head on. Until I address this head on, this is what my life is going to look like.
Definitely.
And I feel like you allow it to keep happening because you haven't dealt with it. So it's like, I'm throwing this back at you until you confront this issue or what's causing depression every time.
Right.
Like, somebody had a question. They said, do you feel like someone else low mental state can affect your mental state? So being around somebody with a bad attitude,
for sure. And what
definitely.
What I started to realize was I'm an empath, and I cannot be around too many energies, for one, because I really start feeling everything that everybody is feeling in the room. So being around somebody who's like, it's not, I mean, you can feel how you feel, but for me personally, taking some space back is what I do for, like, it's healthy for me. Cause I can't feel that. Like, I want you to get through whatever you're getting through, but I just can't take that on.
Yeah.
I can't.
I don't want what you got jumping onto me, because I don't want to fight your demons. I already got demons to fight. I mean,
I totally agree. I feel like these last 2 years I have been so like on it, where I'm like, okay, your energy is off. And I'm at the point where I'm checking energy, because that energy is not going to be around me, like, at all.
Right.
Yeah. It also too is like who you surround yourself with. You know what I'm saying too. Exactly. You have to surround yourself around people that are in the same mindset, in the same mind state as you, who kind of on the same path as you. Because if you just like, for example, somebody who might be, you friends with somebody who might be out partying all the time, doing whatever they want to do. Meanwhile, you know what I'm saying, you going to work, doing what you got to do, and they don't have their priorities straight. Y'all don't align. And so that energy is not going to be like, that positive energy is not going to be there. They're in some other little state and you're in your own kind of happy space, and you don't want what they're like doing and going through to rub off and reflect on you.
Right.
And then you also have to watch out for those who are intentionally selfish, to where they want the negative energy, their negative energy, to be felt in the room. So they literally give off those negative comments, those negative vibes, because they want you to feel what they're going through.
What they feeling, right.
That's not how it works. If you're not praying for deliverance, if you're not working to get that out of you, goodbye. I'm not doing that.
Right.
Like,
like some people show up in a room like, I'm depressed today. I'm angry today. Like, and I mean, it's okay to show that emotion, but I do feel like some people do try to make everybody else know that they got something going on. When it's not around somebody to recognize it in a sense.
Some people just have big energy though, and I would definitely say that, and that's why a lot of times I stay home and I stay to myself, because it's like I won't intentionally try to ruin it, but I do have when I'm happy, when I'm up, when I'm down, and that's just it radiates through the room regardless of where I am. So if I'm in a bad mood, if you piss me off, you're going to feel it. Like if you mess me up, the whole room's going to be messed up, and I can't help that. That's just how my energy transfers. So I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I feel like everybody you can tell when they're in a good mood and a bad mood.
Yeah.
Some people bring out a bigger energy than other people.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
And I'm glad we brought that up. I don't want to be too deep or anything, and we'll get into it more in the next episode. But a lot of people don't realize that your mental health is also in connection with your spiritual health.
Before you go in, let me put that question out there. Do y'all feel like mental health is more spirit-based or natural causes?
Yeah. I will argue spirit till the end, because
why you say
my thing is, if your spirit is not right, somebody is going to feel that. So spiritually, if you're not connected to I know people use the scripture a lot, cleanliness is next to godliness, but that means inside and out. You can't be clean outside and inside you're dirty, and you expect your mental health to be right and your spiritual health is not right. You can't. No, that doesn't align. It doesn't go together, because you can't tell me that mentally, I'm in this headspace and I'm depressed, and I feel this type of way, I feel this about this situation, but spiritually, if somebody asks you how you doing, you say, "Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm fine. I'm doing it." No, you're not. No, you're not, and we know you're not. So I think your spiritual health and your mental health, to me, goes together.
So you saying spirit is what causes?
Yeah.
Well, what I was saying. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I think it's a nice little balance of both for me. I will argue that, because like most of the time, most of the things that we feel are based on what's going on in our life, and it's just up to us to be in touch with our spirituality to deal with those things. Like death is something that just happens. Like death happens, that's natural, but that definitely affects. That's a big factor in why we feel the way we feel. Losing people is hard, regardless. And if you're not right spiritually, that can take you out as well. And so it's just things like that. I think they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I definitely agree and feel that spirit has everything to do with mental, because if you are a spiritual person, you know that there's another world, there's a spiritual world. So there's spirits on the outside that, better yet, I don't know how to put it, but they're like control what you got going up here
in your mental. Yeah, right.
I ain't trying to get real deep, but I know it's also a scripture that casts down vain imagination. So all of that comes from another spirit, another source from the outside. So what you cast down them thoughts, their thoughts are depression, anxiety, suicide. Cast all of that down. So you will have the right mental state. What God said, have the mind of Christ. So you have to put on the mind of Christ. If you don't have the mind of Christ, you have those other spirits. Spirit of suicide, spirit of anxiety, spirit of depression. Those are spirits.
And I don't want people to leave this podcast thinking that we're saying, life decisions don't affect your mental health, because it does. Life does. Life happens, and it happens on a daily basis.
On a daily basis, yeah.
But I agree with everybody that said spirit based. I agree even with Marcus. He said it's on the podcast. He said it's equally both spiritually and dealing with life in general. And, you know, like Shay said, you know, it's having the relationship with God, you know, your spirit has to be right. It has to be connected to the right source. I want to say a lot, but I'm gonna save that for next week. So I think we should just shift the gears because
I'm gonna stay in that department.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do. It's both in hand, natural causes and spirit based in a sense. It's all in one.
So I mean, when we talk about mental health, we always talk about like how we're feeling and what, you know, we can do to deal with it. But what are some ways that we can be better advocates for people who are struggling with their mental health? Like, how can we be a better friend or a better partner, a better sibling?
I think. Are you gonna go say? Are you gonna me?
I was gonna say, first off, be sensitive. Don't be insensitive to what somebody else got on you. So be sensitive, be transparent, and be a great listener. Because sometimes people don't need you to speak. Sometimes people just need you to listen. So allow them to have that moment to just let out. Allow them to have that moment just to get it all off of them. But you have to also know how to, I don't want to get deep, but I would say when you're in that moment of letting people get that stuff out, don't allow what was on them to come on you.
To come on to you. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm saying, but yeah. So be transparent, be sensitive, and be a listener.
For one, I think you just have to be a listener. You have to try to understand as much as possible, you know, what that person is going through, their plight or whatever. And then also, you know, give them resources available, like different groups they can go to, or, you know what I'm saying, people they can talk to, referrals and stuff like that. Cause I know, you know, I had went with one of my friends to this Narcotics Anonymous class, and it's basically like, you know, just a group of people who have beat their drug addiction. They're just in a circle just talking about how they beat their addiction, like what are they doing now to, like, you know what I'm saying, cope with it, and, you know, just different things like that, like, you know. And so I feel like, you know, if there's a group or organization like that people know of, where people, you know, can sit down, talk about their mental health, people who have beat their, you know, mental health illness or whatever they're going through. Because in that class, like, there were people in there who had beat their drug, who's been fighting their addiction for 20 years, and they've been coming to that class for over 20 years. Even though they're done with their addiction, they just still come to impart their wisdom and guidance on people. And I feel like, you know, if anybody knows any groups out there like that, you know, refer people to those type of groups.
Right. I think another big thing, like whether it's your friends, your spouse, anybody that you're close with, I think we need to start doing check-ins. Like if somebody says, "Hey, how you doing?" and you just saying, "I'm good, I'm fine, I'm all right." Like if that's a person that you feel like you can talk to, like, I mean, just like sometimes you just have to open up, because like Shay said, sometimes you just need somebody to listen to you. Like I may have a lot of things on my heart to where I just need somebody to listen to me. I don't need you to say, "Well, I think you should do this, I think you should do that. Well, you was wrong in this area, you shouldn't have did." I don't need you to say all that. Like I just need somebody to listen to me. Because if I'm wrong, I understand, and I guarantee you I'm gonna pay for it because I made a stupid decision. I understand that. But like all y'all said, being a great listener, and really just having check-ins, and even like mental check-ins with your family, people that you're around, anybody that's close to your circle, just so we can kind of say, okay, I feel like your mental is valuable to me as well, just as my mental should be valuable to you, because we're so close.
I agree.
And people, for the people who are struggling with anything mentally, if there's somebody that you love, if there's somebody that you really, really trust, don't shut them out. Like you can you can teach people how to love you, teach people how to be there for you. And I think that that's a problem in a lot of relationships and friendships end over people not knowing how to be there for each other. But you also have to be able to communicate that. Like, you can't, like, don't just shut down. At least explain to the person that you love, like, listen, this is what I like, you know, this is just what I'm going. It has nothing, this is what I'm going through. It has nothing to do with you. Like, let me know how I can be there to help you. Like, let me know if you need me to shut up, I'll shut up and listen. Like, I'll just hold you while you cry. If you need me to talk to you, give you some advice, I'll do that. But we just have to communicate with each other more.
Yeah.
Right.
So not to shift it, but I can't talk. What generation do y'all feel like is the most depressed in a sense?
I think it probably started with ours, and it's just trickling down.
Definitely. I agree. And the only reason, well, one of the key things that I agree with that is because listen to majority of today's music and listen to the lyrics, listen to the way the flows, listen to the chords. All of it is surrounded by depression and suicide. It's surrounded by being, you know, emotionally drained. And like, even today, you know, there were certain songs that my kids was asking me to play, and I'm just sitting there listening. And me as a person, when it comes to music, I listen to everything. I listen to everything. And the words, like, they were literally screaming these words out. And I'm like, this is a cry for help. This is depression. Like, what's happening? But yeah, like Troy said, it started with us, but now it's trickling down and it's getting worse. Even with some of the articles that, you know, we share in our Change Minds group chat about kids committing suicide at ages from 8 through 10, it's worse. But yeah.
And I'll add, I know for me personally, I think depression, when I was in the depressed state, depression, it started with me, but it was from the pressure of the generation before me. Anyway, I don't know a lot of people that know me well, but I'm a musician, and my dad and my stepdad are both great musicians in the areas that they're from. So sometimes I feel like I don't want to do music because of the simple fact that I don't believe in myself that I can live up to the expectations or to what they've accomplished or what they've done. And sometimes it makes me want to quit. So I still battle with that sometimes daily. And it's like, I don't want that to get off on my little brother who is also following in the musician footsteps. So I try to stay strong for him, and I try to tell him, you know, just keep practicing and keep doing your thing. But it's like, sometimes I feel like I want to quit because I don't think I can live up to what they do.
But okay, I have a question with that. Like, okay, just say you feel like, you know, like you can't, like, would you think like it's nothing wrong with that? Like, hey, maybe just music isn't for me, or like just playing the drums, or like, you know what I'm saying? It just isn't for me. Like, how you kind of like looked at it like that?
Well, see, now, and I try. Well, see, the thing is with me is that the background of my family is music all the way through. And so it's like, to me, if in my family, if you're not doing music, then what are you really doing? Like, I know even my brother sometimes, like, he used to struggle with depression because he was an athlete. He was the athlete of our family, but he felt like nobody really cared because it wasn't music. It wasn't something that everybody else did in our family. And so it's like, I'm trying to, direct myself in that path that if I don't do this, it's okay. And, I've recently just opened up to my stepdad about it. And he's like, one thing he told me was that, regardless of what you do, I'm your parent, I'm always gonna be here for you, and I'm always gonna support you in whatever it is. And it's like, to hear him say that, it's one thing, and sometimes it does make me feel good, but it's like still always in the back of my mind that, hey, you have to live up to that expectation. And if you don't, you have failed.
But to go back to the question of like which generation like really like, I looked it up and it said Generation Z is the most depressed generation. So y'all
Generation Z.
Yes, and we are.
So it's our generation, yeah.
So do y'all want me to put out what the age number? I mean the
yeah.
So
would it be like so like we're like it's like the millennials. So it basically started with like the millennials.
Between 6 and 24, you were considered Generation Z.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought we were. Oh shoot, I'm at the top end of that then.
So y'all
Dang, I didn't think it was that big of a gap.
24 it kind of started that depressed state of where it's like so common.
Right. And it worked its way all the way down to 6. That's great. That's a huge gap though. That's a huge gap. I didn't think the gap would be that big though.
And when you think about it, it's like 6-year-olds committing suicide and leaving notes. And how would they be so intellectual to leave a note for their parents?
Exactly, like, saying that they want to kill themselves, right?
Yeah.
So do y'all feel like music have an effect on people's mental health, like causes them to deeper into it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's all based on the lyrics. It's all based on the lyrics that they're hearing. Like these 6-year-olds are hearing a rapper say, I'm going out and I'm shooting and killing and I'm doing all of this. And they're like, oh, wow, like we can do this. Like they think that's okay because that's the music they hear. And now it's pushing them into that depression standpoint to where they want to kill themselves. And they're like, somebody's rapping saying they killed this person, they killed this. And then they're like, okay, well, maybe I should go out here and try this. So I should try to do it on myself, not knowing what's going to be the end of it.
It's one song I know that stood out that I was like, this is so depressing. It's like, push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Every time it came on, I'm like, okay, cut this off.
Right.
I listen to trap music though. Like, what's really wild to me is how people really be in parties turning up to trap music and stuff. And like, bro, they're literally talking about, they're crying out for help. He's not okay. Like, he's not okay. Right. He wants to die, and he's telling you this. Right. And y'all like getting drunk to it.
No. Bro, like the top selling rapper in the world right now, as far as albums go, like that's on top right now, is Rod Wave. And literally every song I hear by this man,
he's depressed.
He is depressed.
Very depressed.
He makes you know that he's depressed. Like
no, but I'm telling you, you give something a good beat and folks gonna ride with it.
It's gonna ride.
They giving chants. They incanting spells, all this other stuff, and you thinking they talking in tongues. No, baby, they doing chants on you,
right?
And jumping up and down, like chill out. No,
but so do y'all agree with this? Like, do y'all think as a community where like a lot of people are blind to that and they don't really pay attention to the lyrics and they're just like, this feels like basically this is pleasing my flesh, basically, and like this makes me feel real good. And not knowing what this person is actually going through or what these words mean.
Especially in our culture, if it feels good, it is good. And that goes
good,
Although even some gospel artists, if you listen to some of their music, you're not talking about the death, the burial, and the resurrection. You're talking about, I want to kill myself. I'm still in a depressed state. But because you give it a good drive, we going up and down with to all the way to like hip hop, to like rock, all of that other stuff. Like give something a good beat. But the music industry knows this. That's what I think people fail to understand. Music, from music industry to movies, entertainment, social media platforms, they know how effective this stuff is to us as the viewer, as the listener. So they incorporate all of that in there. Like it's much deeper than just music. It's
just music, right?
Anyway,
it's definitely way different.
But you know what? At the same time, like I also feel like the music that sounds depressing, I don't feel like it causes depression. More so, like I feel like it helps us. Like, cause I love listening to sad music sometimes when I feel sad, just so I can know that like there's somebody out there who I can relate to. And so as opposed to that making me feel like I'm sad, it's like, oh, well, you know what? This is normal. Like Beyonce feels like that. Beyonce feels like this. I'm okay.
But I disagree in a sense. Like, so if they're feeling depressed, so it make you feel like, okay, well, let's be depressed together and let's stay here. Like,
no, it's not like a let's be depressed together, let's stay here. It's more of a, hey, I'm not alone in this situation, and I know that there's a light on the other end of the tunnel. Like, we ain't in any of this alone. Like, there's always somebody out there who feels the same way that you do. So there's no point of you ending your life. Like, it's gonna get better. Like, there's been people who've gone through what you've gone through, and they are where they are. So that's inspiration. Like,
right.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's just certain people, because I feel like listening to too much of depressed music can cause you to become even in a deeper depressed state. Like,
right.
That's what you're feeding your atmosphere.
Yeah, like that's what you feeding. Yeah, that's what you feed in your mind. So if you don't have that positive feeding in your mind, you're not going to be positive. Anything that you feed in is going to come out. So what you feed is what's going to come out, in a sense.
See, that's why you got to know how to listen to music like in a healthy way. And that's really crazy, but you really do. Like, if that, like, I like to listen to a sad song, so I'm like, okay, boom, this is how I'm feeling. And then I listen to a song that's going to like push me in a way that's going to like get me up, like something that's going to be like, okay, you feel that way, it's okay, now get up. That's why I love Lizzo, because of her album. She has, like, I love artists who have layers to their albums. Like, they go through the sadness, but they show the process of moving through it in their album, and that's art to me. Like, it's like telling a story. Yeah. So you got to find the right music.
So,
but Tyler,
go ahead.
Tyler, I agree with the point that you made, though, and I'm glad you mentioned it, though, like, because I think, in a sense, people feel like gospel music is just supposed to be part of the church, but a lot of people, like I said a minute ago, like, they don't pay attention to it, and it's not just rap music or trap music or hip hop or all of this other music. Like, it's the whole genre of music. Like, music. I mean, it's a big thing. But music all plays a part in it, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
So, like, do y'all feel like medication can help somebody with mental health? Do y'all feel like medication works personally, not based off what society says or the doctor says or the therapist says? Do y'all feel like medication is something that helps or can stop or change in a sense?
For me, I'm gonna say no. Because of the simple fact that I would put medication, you know, as far as how it works, I would put it in the same status as, you know, drinking or marijuana, because of the simple fact that you have to have it to cope. So when it's gone away, your problems are still there. So I mean, like, it's still taking you away for a moment. If you have to keep reapplying it in order to cope with something, then it's still a moment given thing. It's not something that creates a boundary or a blockage for you long term.
So, okay, so that's really let's dig into that though. So it's like, do you feel like mental illness is an illness per se? Because, like, I mean, if you're ill, if you're sick, you need medicine. Like, that's what keeps you going. Like, that's what keeps your body going. So,
and that's my whole thing when it comes back to the spirit. Society has considered a sickness when it never was a sickness. A sickness is a spirit. So y'all call it a sickness when it never was. So you give it out medication and it's not really solving anything, because you have what's the word?
Dependence on it.
Not even that. You have labeled to be something that is not. That's like not to be. It's like a pastor calling something out, another spirit out, and it's not that spirit. So it's like you have relabeled it to be something that it's not. So now you said it's a sickness, but it's not. It's a spirit. So you call it an illness. So you use the medication, and then you come to see that, like he said, it only lasts for a moment. It's not something that's solving it.
Right.
But that's
I agree with you, Shay, that it's a spirit. But until, like, people can be able to tell that it's a spirit and actually get the knowledge on it, that's really the only way you can actually cope with it and try to and really get rid of it. I mean, you can't, like,
get rid of it though. That's the thing. It's never gone. Like, and that's what people better realize. It's never gone until, like Joe said, until you confront it head on and really deal with it. It's never gone. It's just another thing, like he said, marijuana or drinking. It's just another thing that's just getting you through the moment. But as soon as that medicine wear down, you got to take a whole nother set of it, because once again, you back feeling the same.
But I do want to acknowledge though that there are like, there's bipolar disorder, there's there's depression, there's anxiety, like there's some of those things. And well, bipolar disorder, I will put that over here. Like there are disorders or mental illnesses that you really like, they can't just be solved with a little spirituality. Like there are things that can't just be helped like that. Like people are schizophrenic, like people have some real issues.
So I got a question though. Where do you feel like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder just come from? Like, how do you feel like?
You know what? That's a really good question. Like I'm not a doctor.
It's all spirits. It's all spirits that jump on.
I'm just trying to open up people's minds. If you really think about this thing and really, because I know what society says, like they try to make it out to be a sickness. Like, but when you really think about the spiritual world and what like effect and control it have on us in the natural world, you will understand why so much stuff is looked at schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Like, I don't know. It's just me.
I mean, no, I feel you though. Like, I mean, I feel you, but at the same time, it's like, as much as I want to agree, it's hard to agree because there are like millions of people out here who are struggling. And if I be like, oh, well, you can solve it with a little praying, it's like, it's really minimizing everything that they're genuinely going through. See, because we ain't experienced that. We have our own.
I'm not gonna say minimize though, because when you say minimize in prayer, you minimize the God, because God
you're minimizing God
change you from a mental state. I have literally seen somebody come out of mental state in a deliverance service.
I mean, I think, but it's the big problem.
But necessarily too, though, like nobody knows, like if you know what I'm saying, the disorder or whatever is like just natural, just like how like you have some medical condition that's just natural. It's like, for example, you have cancer, like for example, you can, you know what I'm saying, pray through that, you know what I'm saying, or get through it, but ultimately you still might die, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. So, I mean, like it's like
it's still up to medicine.
You feel me? Like you can, I don't know.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this. So if you get diagnosed with bipolar depression, the doctor gives you medicine. And what happens when the medicine doesn't work? What do you do?
I mean, then you find what works for you. Like, I mean, that's where you got to see your doctors. You got to go do some soul searching and really figure out. What if these doctors?
I understand these doctors have their degrees and all of that, but like, what if these doctors are just diagnosing you with stuff, and you can just go back to the Bible and you can just pray about this stuff and start and really just start calling these spirits out that they actually are. If you start calling spirits out and facing spirits that they actually are, then that spirit gonna leave you alone. Like it's just that once you face it, God sees that you face that problem, and He knows that you're strong enough.
Say this just for those, just to put it out there. It takes more than just praying. It takes fasting. It takes deeper. I'm not gonna just say, "Oh God, I pray this bipolar disorder just go away." I'm not gonna say it just happened like that. But it also comes with faith. If your heart posture is not right either, it's a whole lot that comes in play with it. But for me, I feel like God can deliver somebody from it. Like,
yeah. And this particular segment, the confusion and the argument can go on forever. But the reality is, some people have not been taught what others have been taught. So me personally, I can't hold anyone against the fact of, yes, medicine works, yes, therapy works, because that's what you've been taught. That's what society has taught you. Me personally, we've been taught some of us have been taught something different. Your Bible explains this, but if you haven't been taught that, this won't be understanding to you. You'll still argue the fact, which you have every right to argue the fact of medicine works. I believe in medicine. I believe in therapy. So I think it's just based on, your knowledge of something and based on what you've been taught as well.
But I say open up your mind. Don't stick to what society have always put out there. Like, because I feel like society minimize our thinking. Like, they have that one set standard and that's what you go off of. No, maybe it's something else that's causing this. Like, so it's just me. Like, I just think outside of what people want us to just think about. That's what Change Minds is for. I'm here to open up y'all minds, have y'all thinking about certain things, like, and not saying everything that I say is correct. No, I'm not saying that, but I'm going to give you what I know to be true in my life or what I have seen or even experienced.
Right. I mean, I feel you and I do hear you, but I feel like it's just, okay, so it's just really funny to hear it on the other side. Like hearing, you know, a Christian saying like society telling you what you want to be. Like, that's just weird hearing coming from the Christian side, because usually when people refer to society, the church is the big part of society.
It is.
But that comes from the statement of religion. And I don't consider myself as in a statement of religion. Like, I stick myself solely with God, if you get what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Because religious people, they're closed-minded in a sense. Like,
Okay.
They kind of throw their beliefs on people, and I'm not throwing my beliefs on nobody. I'm just opening up their minds to see, okay, I'm letting you know what I believe has worked for me. And maybe if you try it out, you may see, or you don't have to try it out. It's just what I know to be true.
And that's a good point too. Very good point.
A lot of
sounded like China Anne McClain in that video. If y'all seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, hey, I ain't gonna cap. She went in on that one.
Yeah,
you talking about the one about the Big Bang Theory and when she was explaining all that stuff?
I didn't see no videos.
I'm talking about the one with the snake when she was like,
I remember that one.
Yeah, she was explaining how, you know, if there was a snake outside and I told you about the snake and you got mad at me because I told you that there was a snake, and then you went outside and got bit by that snake anyway, like, and then you come back and be like, why you didn't tell me? Okay, because you didn't want me to warn you, like, you didn't want me to give you that. So she was comparing that to religion, like when people saying like, why are you forcing your beliefs on me? Like, and she was like, I'm not forcing my beliefs on you, I'm just giving you, you know, I'm just giving you a warning.
What I believe.
I'm giving you the opportunity to take it.
It's
if you
your
take it,
belief.
you don't take it, you know. That's what
It's your It's your belief. It's not forcing it on anybody. And whoever's watching, you know, we don't want you to take, they want me to be this, they want me to be that, believe this. No, this is based on what we've experienced, what we know. Like, this is our testimony. You have yours, and it's not forcing anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
But just to shift gears really quick, just to keep up with today's current events, have y'all been keeping up with Simone Biles and, you know, what's been happening in the Olympics? How do y'all think that do y'all think that it's affected her mentally? I know she said that she pulled out of it because it was, you know, affecting her mentally. But it kind of made me, you know, wonder, you know, people from like the celebrity status, even the wealthy status, do you think that they slide the mental part under the rug until like it's exposed because they feel like, you know, they've reached this certain status and it doesn't really matter about their mental health? Like, how do y'all feel about that?
Yeah. So well, I would say the money solved the fact of they're not through.
Well, I would say, you know, people at that level, when they get to a certain point in fame and celebrity, they start to realize how people really look at them and what people really look at them as. You know, when you get to levels like that, you're not a person anymore. You're an object. You're an item. What I can market you as, what I can sell you as, what you can do for me, what you can do for this country, how many medals you can win me. You're an item. You're marketable. You're not a person anymore. So to them, they feel like, yeah, I get that. You're human, all that. Yeah, but at the end of the day, we need these medals. We need this money. We need these numbers. We need these ratings. So I'm gonna need you to put all that aside and go on this stage, go on this arena, and do what you do to make money for me, to give you to give me what you've been providing for me. I don't need that to stop, regardless of how you feel.
Right.
Yeah. Like for me, like actually, you know, I feel for like the athletes that have to go through things like that. For example, just look at, you know, Sha'Carri. Everybody was praising her, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Oh, like she really like did this, came in first place in the Olympic trials. She going to the Olympics. Then, you know, she got caught or whatever, failed the drug test. Everybody's behind her back 100%, like let her run, let her join the Olympic team and stuff like that. Then she has this last place finish and everybody like clowning
bashing
her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like
very disrespectful.
You know what I'm saying? And then watch when she back on top, people going, you know, like on her again, you know what I'm saying, riding her coattails and stuff like that. So I feel for them on that aspect, because like everybody is just looking at you, and it's like one thing you do, and like cameras are around you 24/7 and stuff. What you post, what you do, you could be out, people taking pictures of you and stuff, and just like one thing can just affect your mental state and mindset, like just like that, from people you don't even know. And it's like everybody has an opinion on what you do, whereas for us, we're like common ordinary people. Like we only like our message is in some instances only get out so far, whereas these athletes and entertainers, they say something, the whole world is gonna know about it or whatever. And just everybody have certain opinions, like on talk shows, radios, like, and them just hearing that. Just imagine like hearing that every day, or just seeing stuff in like magazines or newspapers and stuff about you, and how that is just gonna affect you mentally. So I just look at it from that perspective.
I feel like the millions of dollars in my bank account, I feel like that would compensate for those few opinions. Like money was solve every single bit of my problems. I don't care about none of that. Give me the money.
But see, the thing is, people like that.
I was gonna say this before you go in. I was gonna say, I do feel like the famous people have become more aware of acknowledging that they're actually going through or they're depressed. Like it was a time where it wasn't something that was talked about, but I have seen recently people aren't admitting like, okay, yeah, during this moment or during this time when I made this movie, I was the most depressed, or I was suicidal, or I just had a lot going on. So I do commend them now for being more open and allowing us to know that yes, famous people have depression. I mean, go through mental illness too. Like and money does not solve it. Like
I think it's easy for them to like just sweep it up under the rug though. Like, I mean, because all they really got to do is they come out here, they get on the court, they ball out, they get on the football field, they score 2 or 3 touchdowns. They go play soccer, they play all these sports. But when they get home, or they go out here and they do all of this and they're happy while they're doing that. But once they get home, it's like, dang, I'm back to reality. Like I'm back depressed or whatever. So, but I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of them feel like that money can actually buy them happiness, which I don't necessarily agree with that. But I do feel for them, and I will like say kudos to all of them that's like been stepping out, because I know like a bunch of different athletes that I follow and stuff like that. They talked about their suicidal thoughts, their depression and stuff like that, which is a good thing. So that way everybody in the world can see like, okay, just because I'm a billionaire doesn't mean that I have suicidal thoughts. So like I think that's a huge thing and a great thing for them to actually be stating their mental health.
Yeah, because see, the thing is, like people, like I said, people at that level, you know, it's good. You know, you say now that like, you know, money will solve all my problems once I get it. Yeah. But it's like, what do you do when you get to the point to where you're used to it? You're used to having money. You've had money for years now. So it's like money is common to you. It's normal. It's like you waking up and brushing your teeth in the morning. It's common to you. So it's like that don't really matter to me no more. What matters on the inside of me is what matters. Because it's like you can go all day, you know, and I think the reason that it's starting to change now is because, you know, the athletes and the entertainers, people are starting to realize you can't do this without me. This market that you're trying to sell, whatever you're trying to do, however much money you're trying to make, at the end of the day, if you don't have me, you're not going to get there. So I'm going to say what I want to say. I'm going to believe what I want to believe, and I'm going to come out with my feelings and what I feel about, because at the end of the day, you're not going to make the money unless you have me. So you have to accept what's going on with me. You have to accept that. And I feel like, if this revelation would have been caught early on with entertainers and athletes before the people who are influencers, then I feel like we wouldn't have as much as we do now, and it wouldn't be a problem to have mental health issues. It wouldn't be a problem to come out about your mental health issues.
Yeah, so in a sense, I feel like money does not solve all problems. Like money, I feel like money is good when your mental is good. Like I feel like, right. I don't know. Money is a good thing, but if your mental's not good, you're not going to enjoy your money, because it's just like.
I disagree. Listen, y'all can say that all y'all want. Money will solve, if not all.
Money can't. So Raekwon.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Sorry to cut you off, but so since you say you think money, you say money can buy you happiness or whatever. So say you're a billionaire, and you're depressed. So you think just going out and buying?
What? Give me a reason that I would be a depressed billionaire.
Just life. I mean, life. What you mean?
Let me give a good
life.
example.
I mean, okay,
when you get to the point that you start making $1 billion and
go ahead, Jordan.
Hold on, wait.
I have a great example.
Wait.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Bruh, you could. I don't think money buys happiness to an extent, but it can't fully make you happy. For example, yeah, you could be in poverty or whatever like that, get some money or whatever. That's gonna make you happy. But what if your actual true happiness in life is to have a good relationship with your mother, or like a relationship with somebody? And to be honest, money can't buy no relationship. They just gonna like you because you have that money. They're not gonna like you.
Let me tell you why.
They're not gonna like you for you. They're gonna like you for that money.
Listen, the reason that my relationships are struggling right now is because I'm struggling. I can't afford. I don't have my relationship with my mother is good. I love my mother. Like we talk and we're close, but she's also 2 hours away, and I still got to be here working. If I'm rich, I can fly out to wherever you at. I can come see you every day. We can do whatever we want to do together, and I don't have to worry about spending money to go see you because I have it in the bank. I can spend my time with you and I can enjoy that. My relationships with people would be so much better because like most of my stress comes from finances. My stress is it's not like my stress be financially. I'd be worried about how I'm going to be straight. And if I'm set in that aspect, I can work on everything else in my life exactly how I want to, when I want to, where I want to.
Right. Like, can I ask you a question? What happens when you lose it? Because money is still
the point.
Money is still a thing that only lasts for a moment. At the end of the day, when you spend money, it's gone. You don't get it back.
That's why I'm going to invest it. I'm not going. Once I get it, I'm not going to lose it. That's not. I ain't worried about that.
No, but we second think though, Raekwon. What if you got though? Like you got to think of the.
So what if? Okay. So what if you're a billionaire and you wake up one morning, or you go out, you try to buy this, you shopping. And you go to swipe your card and your card don't work. You go to look at your bank account been hacked and all your money gone, and the bank can't get you nothing back. Then what you gonna do then?
I'm gonna make sure that I'm set up, boy. That money, I might have lost a couple.
No, you can't. You can't say that. No,
it's gone.
If you can say that I can get rich and lose my money, I can say that I can make my money back. I don't see how that's fair.
Every penny to your name is gone. Every penny. I'm talking about every penny to your name is gone, and you don't have no family, you don't have no friends, you don't have nobody to go see. What happens then?
What I'm saying is, I'm not going to be dumb enough to have millions of dollars worth of liabilities with nothing to reimburse me. I'm not about to be that dumb. Like, why would I not have businesses that's going to instantly make that back if I'm a millionaire? No,
you have to understand.
But wait.
when you make investments and you don't have the money in your bank account, your businesses go bankrupt. So if your money is gone, your businesses are gone too.
It's gonna make it back. I ain't worried about that. My point is,
I'm gonna be rich regardless.
My point is,
but why not be rich in your mind? Why not be rich in your mind? That's the whole point that we are making. Money can't buy happiness. Richness in your mind is gonna always keep money flowing. In a sense, your mental state keeps the money flowing.
I hear you, girl. That sounds real philosophical, and I love it. I love that for you. I love that for you. But for me, give me the money. I'll take the money.
No, okay. Since you said that, if you're mental off and you're a business owner, you own all these businesses. If your mental is in a bad place, how can you control all of that that's going on? It's gonna crash. It's
a lot. It's too much. It's too much to juggle. Because once you think about it, you got all these businesses. Go ahead, Rick.
But I'm speaking of from a place where I am now, because like right now, mentally, I am well. Like I feel wonderful. I feel good, and that mentality is not about to change because I got some money. I'm still about to be constantly checking, making sure that I'm well. I will just be able to do what I'm doing now a lot more easily. Like it's like everything that I have now will just be amplified because I have the resources to do so. I can not only do stuff for myself, but I can help other people, which makes me happy also. And so it's like, I mean, money can solve so many problems. And I'm not saying that like if you broke, you can't be happy. No, of course you can be broke and happy. Of course. But I don't want you.
But you don't think your problems will increase once you get money?
No. No. I'm not worried about none of it. When I'm rich, I'm not worried about the stuff that I was stressing out. I'm not worried about none of that because for what? I'm not worried about who's talking about me. I'm richer. I'm richer than you.
There can't be a billionaire in the world that nobody knows about. Somebody's gonna know that you're a billionaire, and that person is gonna bring problems to you. I guarantee you.
Because money doesn't change. Money don't change you, Raekwon. Money change the people around you. We've already established that people around you with good energies are necessary. So if people around
me don't determine my happiness, I do. So I'm going to determine what my happiness is with my $1 million in my bank account.
It's not going to work.
But couldn't you say people determine your happiness like Joe was saying? We was talking about the energies and stuff like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you established earlier that energies affect you, right? Yeah. Because you have a big energy. You take on energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Energies do affect me, but I don't sit there and deal with it. If the energy is affecting me, I can remove myself from that situation because ultimately I'm in control of that.
Right. So now you're alone. I will. So now you're alone. Because you remove yourself from people with bad energy, so now you're alone.
Just because I remove myself in a situation doesn't mean I'm alone. I remove myself from my friends all the time, but I still love you. I just can't be around this right now. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. Like,
exactly,
let's talk about it later.
When you have money, people are always like it because they always want something from you.
But that's not necessarily true, though. Like, that's so presumptuous.
Okay.
The people who are real, the people who gonna be real at the end of the day. And if you're not, then that's your loss. Like, move on. Like,
but I feel like once you get money, you become a clutch. You become a codependent for your family because they know Raekwon is this billionaire. So anytime I'm going through or going down, they're gonna be quick to call you. I feel like.
And to me, that goes back to with the relationships part. You feel me? Like, You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I feel like money just can't change your, like, make your relationship better with certain people in some aspects. Say, like, if you were, you know what I'm saying, abused by your family or something like that, you think money's gonna make you happy to where, like, I want a relationship with my family, but it's like they did this to me. It's like money can't, you know what I'm saying?
You can't buy that relationship.
Like, I'm thinking about stuff like that, not necessarily like as far as distance between family and stuff like that. I'm talking about like just deep-rooted, deep-seated issues that's like going on in your life that has nothing to do with money.
Yeah.
But they can all be worked on. Like they can be worked through with money, without money. So imagine what you can do with. Like, is all I'm saying. Like,
what are you going to do with money that you can't
hold
do
on,
without?
Joe. Hold on, Joe. Somebody said to like Raekwon, like your everyday life isn't perfect though. You have bad days. Is spending money going to make you happy again?
Yes.
For that moment.
Absolutely.
For that moment.
Why is that such a moment? Like, it's like people are asking this, y'all asking this question like, they don't like, does this make sense to you? Yes. Absolutely.
But think about it. Money is another thing as marijuana or alcohol. It's a coping mechanism.
Exactly.
You forgetting about that. We are talking about mental health right now. Like,
right. Once you spend that $200,000, you got to go back home and still be depressed. You got to still have these anxiety attacks.
Because I'm about to go back home with that $200
Raekwon, just because you got all that money in the bank, not gonna mean you walking around with a smile on your face every day. There's gonna be somebody that's gonna try you, and they're gonna piss you off, and it's gonna mess up your whole day.
I'm gonna get my teeth done, so I'm for sure gonna be walking around.
That's it on that whole.
What do you need?
Would you rather cry in the Civic or the Lamb truck?
Me crying in the Lamb truck.
Would you rather cry in the Civic or the Lamb truck?
That cry late at night, both gonna hit different, no matter what kind of
car. Man, I'm telling you.
Come on now, y'all.
Nah, I'm joking, but I'm serious. Like, money was about everything. I ain't even gonna cap.
Well, we all have our own opinions, and we don't take away from what Raekwon feels. So that's what he feels. That's what he feels.
He said what he said.
And that's what it is. And that's what it is. So we're going to let him stand on it. We're going to stand on our beliefs, and y'all stand on what y'all feel. So I feel like that wraps up the segment of just mental health as a whole. And we want to make sure everybody know mental health is very much serious. It's not a game. It's not a joke. It's not nothing that you should be insensitive about. If you know somebody that's dealing with it, reach out. Allow them to show you what they need. So we don't have, I forgot to say that even recently that somebody even in our city killed themselves. So suicide and depression is very much real right now. So be open to people that are dealing with it. Don't be disrespectful. Like I said, insensitive to what's going on. Right. It's very much real. Very much.
Definitely. Reach out to the ones that's close to you. If they, like I said earlier, sometimes people just want you to talk to them. You don't necessarily have to say nothing. Just be that outlet that they actually need.
Yeah, and I'll say, just also if you're able to find resources in your area, as far as mental health groups, different organizations. I know there are different websites where people kind of use as a safe space to talk about, what they're going through and stuff like that. So if you can find, possibly a group or a little small niche that might help you, get through whatever, do that as well.
Right. And understand it, you are never alone. There are people who love you. There are people who want to be there for you. Allow people to be there for you also. You can like I said before, you can teach people how to love you and teach people how to be there for you. And if they're willing to learn, then that's somebody that's worth keeping.
Right.
Good. Anybody else, any comments before we wrap this up? So yeah, that wraps everything up. Thank you guys for tuning in with Change Minds. We're coming back next week to tackle the religion. So y'all already know that we're going to go full force with that. It's going to be a whole lot but it's good. So I'm very much excited. So stay tuned. Next week, we are going to be talking about religion. So come with your questions. Come with some thoughts, some comments. Just let us know what you guys are thinking. Join in, tune in, and make sure you be with us next week at 8 o'clock.
Yep. And also make sure you like and comment on the video, share the video.
Yes.
Instagram, official Change Minds, is one whole word. Follow the page. I'm pretty sure you'll see a poll about spirituality or religion this week coming up. So make sure you vote on the poll. Facebook page, Change Minds. Y'all go like and follow the page. Did I say that's both of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Comment, share.
Yeah.
Get us out there. We're trying to reach everybody. Anybody that we can reach, trying to get out there. So
right.
help us help you.
Definitely.
So thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks.
Great talk.
All right.